Imagine a typical summer night in South Asia. In bustling Delhi markets or serene Karachi streets, the usual energy simmers. But tonight, a news alert cuts through the air. Military activity reported along the line of control in Kashmir. Social media erupts with a mix of confusion, worry, and national pride on both sides of the border. This isn't the first time tensions have flared in Kashmir, a disputed territory claimed by both India and Pakistan. For decades, this region has been a flashpoint for conflict. In 2019, a deadly attack in Kashmir nearly escalated to war. The situation is especially concerning because both India and Pakistan possess nuclear arsenals. Remember the Cuban Missile Crisis? That terrifying standoff is a chilling reminder of how close we've come to nuclear disaster before. Now, with both India and Pakistan possessing nuclear weapons, the risk is even greater. Experts warn that a nuclear war between these two nations could trigger a nuclear winter. Soot and smoke from the blasts would block sunlight, causing global temperatures to drop. This would devastate agriculture, leading to widespread famine and societal collapse. Billions could be affected, not just in India and Pakistan. As the specter of potential disaster looms, the United States itself remains a distant observer, expressing disbelief at the unfolding events. Yet, perhaps this astonishment should be tempered by the acknowledgement that it too has played a significant role in shaping the dynamics that have led to this precarious situation. But what caused this situation to escalate to this point in the first place? The roots of the conflict can be traced back to the partition of the British-occupied subcontinent. In 1947, the British announced a plan to split India, a decision fueled by years of religious tensions between Hindus and Muslims. This partition wasn't a clean break, though. There were also hundreds of princely states and Indian territories ruled by local monarchs. The Mountbatten Plan, as it was known, granted them the choice of joining newly formed Pakistan or India. The British, eager to wash their hands of the situation, set an impossibly tight deadline for this monumental decision. With tensions already on a hair trigger, the subcontinent descended into chaos. Power struggles raged, fueled by economic hardship left over from wartime. Ethnic and religious hatred boiled over, leading to mass migrations, horrific violence, and hundreds of thousands of deaths. Kashmir, a jewel in the crown of the subcontinent, became a flashpoint the moment India and Pakistan gained independence. Despite its Muslim majority population, the region was ruled by a Hindu Maharaja. This anomaly sparked a desperate scramble for control. India, eager to secure a strategically important region, wasted no time. Their army marched into Kashmir, seen by many Kashmiris as an unwelcome intrusion. Undeterred, Kashmiris aided by ex-soldiers and covert support by Pakistan fought back. They managed to claw back some territory, which Pakistan now calls Azad Kashmir. Adding salt to injury, both Quaid-e-Azam and Mahatma Gandhi, the leaders of the two nations, died the upcoming year. Gandhi's death served to further strengthen secularism within the Indian government. At that point, Pakistan and India were still fighting the war that broke out right after their independence. The conflict raged for over a year, a bloody stalemate. Finally, with international pressure mounting, the UN intervened. A ceasefire line was drawn in January 1949, effectively slicing Kashmir in two. This line, known as the Line of Control, remains a source of tension to this day. Another wrinkle in the story of partition that turned into the War of 1947, a reason that remained hidden beneath the religious tensions. Many Indians across religions yearned for a united subcontinent. They dreamt of a free India, whole and strong. But the iron grip of the British Raj, coupled with the perceived dominance of the certain political parties, left many feeling unheard and oppressed. This frustration fueled the flames of separatism, pushing some towards the idea of independent nations as a desperate escape. The India-Pakistan rivalry wasn't a one-act play. In 1965, tensions flared again, leading to a second war, Operation Gibraltar for Pakistan. Thankfully, a peace agreement was signed in 1966, but calm proved temporary. A simmering discontent brewed within Pakistan. The western half, dominated by Punjabis, held the reins of power, leaving the Bengali majority to the east feeling increasingly marginalized and oppressed. This frustration reached a boiling point, and India, sandwiched between the two halves of Pakistan, saw an opportunity to act. Capitalizing on the unrest, India intervened in 1971, throwing its weight behind the Bengali fight for independence. Geography, however, threw a wrench in the works. West Pakistan, unable to easily reinforce the east by land, resorted to flying troops over India, and the reinforcements never reached in time, resulting in the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War. Bangladesh's struggle for freedom culminated in a resounding victory. A new nation, Bangladesh, was born. Forever altering the geopolitical landscape of South Asia, this new reality served India's strategic interests as well. A united Pakistan presented the nightmarish scenario of a two-front war for India if a war was to break between the two. By aiding Bangladesh's independence, India effectively carved out a friendly nation on its eastern border, significantly improving its strategic position in the region. What truly happened and what were the main factors leading to Bangladesh's separation is a story for another time. In 1974, India surpassed the world with Operation Smiling Buddha, its first successful nuclear bomb test. Detonated in the Rajasthan desert, the test marked India's entry into the exclusive club of nuclear powers. This move deeply troubled the United States, which had championed the 1968 Treaty on Non-Proliferation, dividing the world into nuclear haves and have-nots. India, however, saw the NPT as unequal and desired nuclear deterrence against potential threats, particularly from China, which had tested its own bomb in 1964. The irony wasn't lost on many. The US itself had, in the 1960s, launched the Atoms for Peace program, supplying nuclear material and expertise to countries like India. This program, intended for peaceful nuclear energy development, arguably lacked foolproof safeguards against weapons development. While the US hoped participating nations wouldn't weaponize this technology, many, including India, had different ambitions. Canada, another supplier of nuclear fuel to India, also halted its supplies after the test. Critics argued that India, facing widespread poverty, shouldn't have diverted resources towards nuclear weapons. However, for India, being a nuclear power was a better trade-off because with it, India was able to shift the balance of power itself, solidifying its position as a dominant force in South Asia. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who greenlit the test, deeply distrusted US dominance and harbored animosity towards President Richard Nixon, the feeling being entirely mutual. Nixon, according to recordings, even resorted to derogatory terms like bitch or even witch to describe Gandhi. This tense relationship between the two leaders further strained US-India relations in the wake of nuclear tests. Even before India's nuclear test in 1974, Pakistan's leadership under Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto anticipated such a development. Wary of India's nuclear aspirations, Bhutto initiated a clandestine nuclear program led by Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, a renowned scientist later dubbed the father of Pakistan's atomic bomb. China, whom Pakistan had a growing relationship, played a crucial role by supplying a nuclear reactor in 1993 and earlier nuclear technology for a power plant. This assistance significantly aided Pakistan's nuclear ambitions. In 1998, following India's second nuclear test, Pokhran-2, Pakistan conducted its own public tests, codenamed Shagai-1 and Shagai-2. This move cemented Pakistan's status as the seventh nation to possess nuclear weapons, and the first Islamic country to do so. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif proudly declared Pakistan's nuclear capability, a sentiment echoed by a jubilant populace. Unsurprisingly, India's response was one of resolve, with its Prime Minister reaffirming the country's readiness for any challenge. Pakistan, in turn, vowed a swift and massive retaliation against any Indian aggression. This scenario mirrored a childish competition in which both Pakistan and India were seen boasting their nuclear weapons, saying, "No, you are wrong, mine is bigger." And the other one saying, "Yours might be bigger, but mine is stronger." While these nuclear programs undoubtedly enhanced both countries' sense of security, they came at a hefty cost. The vast resources poured into these endeavors inevitably impacted other areas of development. The existence of nuclear arsenals on both sides has arguably created a fragile deterrence, preventing full-scale war. This precarious balance has been tested on several occasions. In 1999, airstrikes launched by India against Pakistan-backed forces raised fears of escalation. but thankfully, nuclear weapons remained unused. Similar situations arose in 2001 during the Parliament attack and in the years 2008, 2009, and 2016 to 2018, with heightened border tensions and violence causing casualties and displacement. The Kashmir issue persists, sparking anger and protests for independence. Tensions escalated in 2019, with Pakistan warning of nuclear war over India's actions in the region. India revoked Article 370, prompting condemnation and accusations of occupation. The crisis persists, but the risk of nuclear conflict remains low, providing some relief amid ongoing tensions.